flowers on your stone. We both know that I was wrong. We both know I'm not like that anymore. I'm not far behind. We both know that I was wrong. We both know I'm not like that anymore.
You are listening to By the Burial Ground, hosted by paranormal investigators Tyler Carter and Chris
possum
Skinner.
just like snuck right up behind me like some Assassin's Creed game and almost freaked you out. This was a big one. This ain't your normal size possum. This was a huge dude.
No, I saw that and I was just like, wow, that's kind of amazing. You know, that it's just ridiculous that something was like just creeping on you.
Right, and hope maybe it was a spirit, but it wasn't. It was just an animal.
Well, that's just how it works sometimes. We're out there looking for spirits and just nature creeps up on us.
Yeah, still freaked me out though. And everyone else was freaking out. What?
All right, guys, and you're listening to By the Burial Ground. I'm Tyler.
I'm Chris.
And, you know, we're just here chilling with another episode. If you caught us in the last thing we put up, it was, I would call it like a bonus episode. We just wanted to kind of catch a little bit of the live feed, or a little bit of the live conversation that was going on, just sitting around the fire, and everything was kind of, I wish I caught the half hour, 45 minutes that was before that, because there was a lot of good conversation in that, but it was impromptu, and it was kind of organic, and that's what's nice about some of the things we do, is just conversations get flowing. People start talking about experiences and whatnot, and it turned into a good situation.
I've learned a lot of stuff that I didn't know. And then what they say, oh, you didn't ask. I didn't know. I didn't know this stuff happened.
And there was a lot of eye-opening things. You know, I didn't realize my fiance has been through so many paranormal experiences. You know, I've had my own encounters and whatnot, but what she's experienced is like next level. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in this episode. There's a lot of various things. We've been away for a while. We had court. Chris and I, we unfortunately got in trouble with one of our investigations at Molly Stark. We got to go. We had to go to Stark County courts. But we got served with criminal trespassing and had a fine associated with that and whatnot. So, you know, things happen when you're out there doing your things, you know.
It does happen, but actually it wasn't that bad of an experience. I thought it was kind of enlightening because didn't he say something about, oh, you're trying to catch ghosts? Yes,
yeah,
sir.
The judge was kind of playing with us. He's like, oh, were you guys out there looking for ghosts? And we're like, yeah, we were. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, we get this in packs, you know.
When you were called up first and it's like, wait a minute. These guys usually come in packs. And here's me in the back say, me, sir.
He slapped us with a fine, and then afterwards he's like, I hope you guys don't find any ghosts,
which we have.
We hope we find more ghosts for you guys to actually look at, you know.
Yeah, because that's what we like to do. We like to share it with all the world and what we discover and find.
Yeah, and we've had enough experiences to where this is not something new to us, so we're going to keep on going on forward and discovering new things. We're going to keep it a little bit more legit, make sure we have our permissions, and try to stay out of trouble because we don't need anything going on for a while, but we're going to definitely continue. I've got this book here, Haunted Cleveland, and it's got so many locations that we can go and explore, and we're going to keep on going forward.
Yeah, and it was like more like a ghost speed bump. But hey, we all have our speed bumps. We all have our moments. We all have stuff that happens to us where we're like, you know what? It doesn't feel right. So sometimes we just don't do it.
Yeah, I've stepped back from a couple investigations just to make sure, like, you know what? I'm feeling kind of off right now. This doesn't feel like the right investigation for me. Something feels really weird. Got to take a step back. We're working on some equipment issues right now, but we're going to have the night vision up soon. We've already tested it a couple times. We're almost there.
Yeah, we're almost there, and we just got to solve a couple of those issues. I wish we had some littler night vision ones, but that's in the future.
Yeah, we're going to get some better equipment as we grow. You guys will help support us with all that and help. The more you guys support us, share us with the people you like, your friends, your people. It's going to grow us, and we will be able to pick up some of that new equipment. We'll be able to explore more options and really get into the things we want to get into. But for the time being, we're going to use the equipment we have, and we're going to be happy because, Chris and I really enjoy what we're doing, and it's a hobby, and it's a passion. So it doesn't really feel like work most of the time because we're just out there doing what we love to do.
Yeah, because we don't want it to be like work. Come on, who likes work?
So in this episode, we're going to talk about some of that stuff. One of the things I want to get to right now is we've taken better steps to protect ourselves out in the field. We had a couple instances where we were felt like there was a spirit attacking us or trying to hitch a ride onto us or like attach themselves to us to get back to the house. We've done better things to cleanse ourselves, and we've also been protecting ourselves better in the field. We wanted to go over some of the things we carry on us and in our bags to help protect ourselves, because it's important to keep yourself warded up, to keep yourself protected up with the things you really believe in, because there's a lot of things that can try to attack you out there.
Yeah, they don't care what you believe or not believe. Anything that's out there, and it is out there, will attack you and try to attach you and try to follow you home.
Now, I have a lot of crystals and things like that I charge on the full moons and other events. I keep those on me, as well as a pentagram token that was given to me, a cross that means a lot to me because I've had it for a long time and it's been blessed. I don't necessarily attach myself to Christian beliefs, but I do hold on to certain symbols as protective symbols. So I carry these crystals, these crosses. There's a stone bat I carry with me that I've had for a long time that was given to me as a gift. I carry an item of my fiance's that holds attachment to me. I just received recently a piece of the Coral Castle down in Florida, and it was retrieved by a friend of mine who we both share an attachment to the person who created that Coral Castle, and it means a lot to me because she grabbed that and it was something that she put her intent into and her love into, and now that's something I have with me, so I'll carry that with me. I also carry some protective salts, protective herbs that are in a bag that is blessed, some sage, and a Ganesha figure, a pyramid which represents the Egyptian pyramids. It has a bunch of hieroglyphics on it, as well as just my typical equipment, my headlamp, my regular flashlight, my body mount cam, a couple of books of magic, my Cub Scouts guide, actually, because I feel like, we're out there in the woods sometimes. My Cub Scout guide, comes in handy. A Holy Bible that I've had with me since elementary school, and a book called the Book of Lives, which the Book of Lives has a lot of talks of magic and different things like that. I like to have these books with me because I feel they protect me, because they're knowledge, and knowledge to me is power. So having these books with me, as well as a Vietnam era bag and scarf that were possessions of somebody who was very, very close to me, a mentor figure that has protected me and guided me through a very, very many years. So these are all things that I have that I hold with me as I go into my investigations. And now, Chris, you have an array of items. you have your head cam, your headlamp, things like that. But go ahead and talk about some of the stuff you carry with you.
Well, for one, like you talk about your crystals that are charged, I have a necklace with a rope. It's a Celtic cross that way my wife got me, and I've always thought that keeps me safe. I've always taken it on long road trips, going to all these abandoned places and stuff, because it has a feeling of keeping me safe, which it has actually.
Yeah, and I carry my Organite obelisk as well as the ashes of my brother with me. I forgot to mention my necklace that I carry with me, and that's kind of, my brother protects me, as well as that Organite pyramid is, a symbol of, balance and things like that. So, but go ahead,
Well, yeah, but I also sometimes carry with that encyclopedia of haunted places, which covers pretty much the U.S. and some of them, or of course a notebook, just to write down some random stuff, like stuff we've learned from around the area.
Yeah, I have my journal with me. It's my magic journal, but it's just the same, same kind of journal thing.
We started after all that instance where I told you I needed to be cleansed and the house needed to be cleansed. We started with these crystals, which I think is also a smart thing now.
And we cleanse ourselves after each investigation?
Yes, because we didn't really do that before. Like we're saying, you'll learn as you go, and plus you learn from other investigators.
But learn quickly, because we made some mistakes and some negative things attached themselves to us, and we paid the consequences. We had some negativity. Chris was involved in a pretty hefty car accident. There were some things going on in his life that were surrounded around that. I lost a feline companion that was a very, very close member of the family to me. We've had some other goings on with our families, some other really, really heavy and dramatic
and
things
emotional.
going on, and very, very emotional. So there's been a lot of negativity tied with some of these events, and when you go into these worlds, when you're going into the spirit realm and actively trying to engage with them, there's times where negative things attach themselves to you and bring themselves back. So that's why we're protecting ourselves better, we're studying more, and we're doing better things to make sure that we don't have to worry about these things in the future.
No, they will still try to attach, but we're, as you say, very prepared out in the field, as they call it, and protecting ourselves. And because, it will happen, it will still happen, but we're better prepared for wherever we go to next.
And I'm so glad Erica's been back with this. Shouts out to Erica, because it's been a great thing having her back on the B.A.P.S team. Check us out. I know I mention it in every single podcast pretty much, but Brunswick Area Paranormal Society, we've done so many things. We got to keep our Molly Stark videos, so that stuff's still up on the page. You can check all that out. We'll be going back through it. We stepped away just while we didn't know what was going to happen with the footage.
Exactly.
But we're going back to it. We're going to edit it up. We're going to get some videos chopped up so you can see certain segments, see some of the stuff we saw in that short amount of time we were there. We have so many investigations coming up. We're going to be talking to some other investigators soon. We're going to have the Paranormal Den group on here to talk on the podcast. Now, Chris, we've been keeping up with those guys. So many great things have been happening. Let's talk about that real quick about Paranormal Den, because I really want to talk about some of the things that they've been posting. They've been doing the Malik House and other things.
Which they are literally right next door.
Yeah, we've been there. We've investigated the house ourselves. We talked about it in our last podcast, not the half episode, but that full episode before that. But have you seen anything recently from those guys that has popped out to you?
Yes, what was they called? The last relic they found in that house, the evil teddy bear that some spirit or demon has attached itself to, and it was just crazy ghost box sessions. It's up on their. It's also up on their YouTube too. I was just watching it, and it was just some crazy stuff, man.
Just check out Jason and Paranormal Den. Shouts out to those guys. We love them. Their family. They're brothers. So go check them out. Jason, Dave, all those guys. So we're gonna get into some of our own stuff that has happened recently. we've been walking through the graveyard, and we had some stuff happen the other night. We were out Saturday with Rachel and Jesse from my old podcast, Ambiguous Region. While we were out, they were having some intense moments, as well as seeing like a 3 to 4 foot figure with glowing red eyes out in the forest beside our graveyard.
I'm going to stop you right there because Erica, our other investigator, we were out late last night and we had a lot of weird stuff. And she did mention a person about what your friends have mentioned with red eyes in our forest.
Yep. So we're going to keep an eye out on this. We're going to try to get a picture or some video footage of this figure.
I do think I do have that picture. It's on our page. Because you remember I was telling you about the beady eyes. You can't really tell because it's cell phone. But you can tell there's a clear shadow figure with beady eyes.
Well, we're going to get a clear shot of that because we really want you guys to see what's going on there. Because that's something that it stopped our friends dead in their tracks. And they didn't want to go any further. Chris and I walked into the forest a little further, but Chris went deep, and we didn't see anything. We didn't have anything interact with us except for a possum that attacked Chris.
Big possum. Not
big
really
possum.
Attacked. He just snuck in me like Assassin's Creed, man. He just like, hi, and you came running, and he just like, gone.
Well, if the spirits aren't going to get you, Mother Nature's going to get you. But we had some stuff going on, and we actually had to back away, and we went back to our fire that we were having there. We've told you about the fires before. We always invite spirits and whatnot.
Actually, you forgot to do that at that time.
We did, but we still had a lot of things going on. Well, we were playing with the bats. We were playing fetch with the bats.
Yes, we playing fetch with the bats.
But that's how we do. We're always trying to interact with Mother Nature and the spiritual realm.
Especially bats. Bats have a special place.
We're going to get down on some stuff this week, and we're going to get back to investigating soon. We have plenty of things coming up. Chris, what's the next thing you want to get into, man?
There's a lot of stuff I want to get into, but it requires a lot of traveling.
Yeah. Well, what's on your mind, man? I definitely
What's
don't...
on my mind? Hopefully the rains have subsided down south of Ohio around Moonville area. The tunnel.
The Moonville tunnels, yeah.
Yes, where we couldn't get in last time because Mother Nature, is a bitch.
Yeah.
And flooded the whole area. I don't know. I really haven't checked into it, but that what kind of disappointed me that last time. But Athens was cool, but you really couldn't get in a tour because they turned part of it to an art museum. But,
yeah.
We visit the cemetery, which was pretty creepy and eerie. But yeah, that's one of my... I know it's a long drive, but I figure it's worth it this time if we really make sure the weather and all the floods subsided where we can get into said Moonville Tunnel, because people have heard a lot of things, a lot of voices, a lot of just unusual paranormal stuff.
And the next thing I want to do with you is you and I are going to hit a series of Crybaby Bridges after midnight. We're just going to drive up to them. We're going to stay there for a half an hour or so, record some stuff, then move on to the next one. Then move on to the next one because there's so many in Ohio. So we're just going to do a string of Crybaby Bridges. I'm going to drive that one, and we're just going to hit them all, and we're going to just do live streams while we're there and get into it, because there's so many in Ohio, and that's such a big thing many people have gone out and searched for and had experiences with. So that's something we need to do.
And you mentioned Crybaby Bridges are pretty much in every state. Just like you said, there's a lot in Ohio. We've been to a few back in my past.
And my mom has been to some. I visited one in my youth. But we're going to go to a string of these. We're going to kind of catch our own little tour of them.
Well, there's one bridge in particular that's part of the Gore Orphanage.
And that will be one on the list.
Oh.
I've got some down where I grew up and everything I want to go to. I have so many I want to get into because there's a lot. We've got an investigation at an Eagles that we're going to be doing.
Yes.
I've got a friend of mine who wants us to do an investigation in their house. So that all is coming up. Plus, we want to do our own house just to see what's going on here. So keep in touch, keep in tune, and just watch out for what's going on there. Now, I know we've been talking about a lot of stuff that's been going on and what's been, on the docket, what we want to get into. There's still a lot of stuff going on in the paranormal world that is just always ever changing. There's new news, new things coming out.
Right.
And I'm just interested. Have you caught anything recently with that?
Not really, because I haven't had really time to sit down in front of, look on the internet or TV, since I've been very busy at work and short staff. But I'm sure you'll tell me right now just to keep me informed of what's going on.
Well, I've just been trying to watch out for what's going on. I get into a lot of stuff, especially with my other podcast, Don't Call 9/11.
Yes.
Get into the conspiracy theory stuff. And, we bounce around from, like, simulation theory to the different alternate gods, all that kind of stuff.
Alternate dimensions.
Yeah. There's been some really interesting stuff with, like, closed caption TV on, like, the European channels and stuff, where they've seen angels or other spirit figures that have popped up on those kind of channels.
I've seen that one on Facebook. I don't know. It looked like an angel in the clouds.
Yeah. And there's one where, like, an angel pops down in the middle of this busy area. It's not, like, busy, but it's a public square. And, like, right on the cement, and you see the cement crack out and stuff. And it, like, just disappears right up. It, like, flies up right away.
Sometimes I do have a slow moment. I always check in my Facebook because I'm part of a lot of paranormal stuff on my Facebook and likes and stuff.
And you post a lot of stuff up, man. What's some of the stuff you've been posting recently?
Yes, and there's one, I didn't post it, but there's a cloud opening, and it looks like there's like an angel or a person walking across in the clouds, and just disappears. It's just like you were going in a cave, and you're just walking across.
Yeah.
And I saw that. As much as those little weird car accident things, I'm still mixed on those, but...
Well, I grew up on the early stages of YouTube when people were faking videos left and right. There was one where these people pick up a girl on the side of the street, and, she's like hitchhiking or something, and she's talking to them in the video, and she was like, "This is where they found me. This is where they died," and she screams, and they, like, wrecked the car or something. It was... later found out to be fake, but there's still a lot of videos we're finding that are real, videos that have been sent to us, like the door being closed on that,
yes.
House. Some of the other things we've come across, we've had some stuff happening, by the house. I had a string of nightmare attacks recently where I was waking up at the witching hour around 3 a.m. and then from there on out, every 10 to 15 minutes I would wake up from a nightmare, like just snapping out of a nightmare. Now, you were talking to me, you've had also, and I think we've crossed past, a week or so ago, but you've been waking up at the witching hour as well.
Yeah, actually recently last night I woke up, or this morning if you would call it, but to us it seemed like last night.
Yeah.
Woke up from just a bizarre dream. I can't explain it. It didn't seem real. It scared me, so I woke up. I look at my cell phone because that's what I do, see what time it is. Lo and behold, it's 3 a.m., the witching hour, and I'm like, really? And you were having this discussion. You woke up on, is something purposely giving us these dreams and waking us up like this, scaring the crap out of us? Then, of course, took me about 20-30 minutes to go back to sleep, but it just makes you think.
Well, and they're not going to break our spirits because we're strong-willed. We're not going to be, shook by such a situation, but whatever is trying to get our attention is definitely making it clear that they're strong and they have some kind of message they want to send. They've gotten to both Chris and I and some other members of the household. We protect ourselves better now, but there are still things that can get to us and try to get to us, and that's why we tell you guys to protect yourselves. Whatever you believe in, look into that and really figure out ways to protect yourselves, whether it be prayers, mantras, spells, sigils, different protective items, relics, whatever. Just just protect yourselves when you're going out there and doing anything like this. Because even if you're just in a public area or a religious area, a spiritual area, a graveyard, anything like that, there are things that can attach themselves to you, and even if you don't even know it, they're there, and your ignorance doesn't stop them from attaching or attacking.
That makes them stronger, actually, your ignorance.
That's why we're doing better to arm ourselves and learn so that we have the knowledge. I'm really getting into demonology so that I can study that to protect ourselves and to protect, the whole family, and know if anything I come across is actually, a demon or anything of that nature. I'm looking into fairies. I'm looking into elves. All those different kind of things.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yes.
just human spirits, how to interact with human spirits, how to know if it's negative, human spirit.
Or residual energy, which means pretty much.
I'm tapping into my empath nature, which is something that's been in me since a child, but I've kind of shut out at certain points. I'm really, really educating myself to better interact and learn more about what's going on in the spiritual realm. And I know Chris is doing better things to interact in and to arm himself and to learn, because we both want to continue with the investigations, but make sure that we are not harming ourselves or putting ourselves in harm's way.
It's not easy. We realize this year. It is not easy keeping up with this, but like you said, it's not going to break us down. Yeah, we're going to have our moments. We're going to have stuff that happens. It's saying, no, you're not going to do this anymore. Yes, we are.
There's a lot of stuff we want to get into. I know we want to go up to Squire's Castle soon. Rachel and Jesse and I were talking about that when we were having our little fireside chat, or half hour, or our bonus episode. And that's one place where we're going to set up, hopefully, our night vision and some other equipment, and we'll be able to stay there for a while and get into different stuff. Obviously, we have to make sure we operate inside of the time restrictions and different stuff that the park system has set up, because we can't get ourselves in trouble again.
Not for 2 years.
But we don't want to get into any things. Some other places we want to get into is the Playhouse Square, the Agora. There's a lot of stuff coming out of the Agora. There's tons of stuff around the Cleveland area, and out of state. I know we want to go out of state soon. I mean, I think that's probably going to be a big, multi-episode trip when we go out of state, because we'll record from on location as well as getting some stuff off location. And I hope you guys enjoyed the live episode we did, because that was just kind of impromptu. I know the quality wasn't the greatest, but we're trying
sometimes you'd never prepare for stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it was very interesting. That was very... I saw that as yes, Tyler, perfect.
Yeah, and I think it was just the right moment to do something of that nature. And there was a lot of good conversation happening, and it just, I don't know, I feel like you would have missed an opportunity trying not to get something. So it was fun. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. But if you do like it, tell us what you think.
Well, if they don't like it, they shouldn't be listening to our podcast.
I know, right? I don't want to attack the fans, but that's something that... if you don't like the raw, the organic, what are you doing here? We try to be as raw and organic as possible, but as raw and organic as we get, we make mistakes. Sometimes we get a little ahead of ourselves, and, there's going to be some opportunities where we miss things. That's why we love you guys to check us on stuff, and also to look back over the stuff we've gone over and get into certain subjects and certain things. We're going to do our typical mid-episode break and get back to you guys in a second. I'm glad you guys are listening to us, and just keep on listening in. Alright guys, we're back, and we had to take a little break there, just kind of our typical, sponsor break. Hopefully sponsor break eventually.
That's very wishful thinking, but I hope so.
Well, yeah, I'm trying. But... we want to get into something that we talked about earlier, and that's some of the crybaby bridges in our local areas that we want to get into. There's one down where I'm from, and that's the Wayne, Holmes County area. It is called Rogues Hollow. And Rogues Hollow is known because There's a tale of a lot of like deadless and headless horsemen and things like that.
Oh, like Sleepy Hollow legend.
Exactly. It's open during the summer to the public, but during the winter they always have like no trespassing signs and things like that. But the legend there is you can hear, if you go at night, a baby gurgling and crying from the river. There's some stuff where if you stop your car on the tracks, there will be children or something pushing your car forward. That's happened at a lot of different, like...
Yes, it has. I've heard
railroads.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Like railroads and crybaby bridges and things like that. Another one is Abbeville Road, which is just outside of Medina, that's where we live. We live in Medina. The legend on that one is that in the 1950s, a young girl, in desperate attempt to hide her pregnancy, threw her newborn over the river, or over the bridge into the river. And it said if you hear a baby's gurgling cries there, that's the baby there from,
Let's stop at that one for a minute, because that one that goes across its railroad tracks, there's right next to a cemetery as well as a church. So that kind of adds to the mysteriousness of that story. But go continue.
Well, and the next one is Helltown, which is over the Cuyahoga River. And there's some satanic cult stuff tied to this one.
Oh, that's always
satanic
cults, yes.
Babies are apparently a very hefty sacrifices in different cultures or different cults and religions. So when you have something related to satanic cults sacrificing something, that would be something that they would do. There's Newton Falls, which all these are ones we want to hit on our little tour that we're going to take soon. We'll probably start at like 10 o'clock or so at night and go until like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, but we're going to hit plenty of these crybaby bridges, and we're going to be doing tons of recording, live streams, all kinds of things, whatever we can do to bring the information to you guys. Newton Falls is one of the other ones. It's in Trumbull County, and it's one of the covered bridges, which we've been to. The Everett Road covered bridge, which is a place we've been to multiple times.
Yes, we have.
And the legends go to the 1800s, and apparently a young mother threw her infant over the bridge and into the Mahoning River, and the community sometimes doesn't really appreciate, and they sometimes shun pregnancies that are young pregnancies and whatnot. So young women would do that sometimes just to hide the shame from the community, because
exactly.
You didn't want to deal with the pain. And there's Crystal Springs, Clinton, and the Egypt Road one is kind of offset because it's hidden in the woods. And it's Egypt Road, Township Highway 766 in Salem. And there's an old iron bridge that is the site of various tales of baby deaths, suicide, and satanic activity. In 2003, Groovy from Gross Roads of Ohio, and I made the road trip out to Egypt Road. Okay, so the people who did the article on this website made a trip out to there. The bridge itself is not easy to find. They scouted the place and couldn't find it. It is located off of Egypt Road on an unnamed closed road beyond a rusty barrier. So they've got some pictures and stuff to try to give an indication to this, but it's Egypt Road, and it's Township Highway 766 in Salem. They've had apparently a lot of instances of like activities and whatnot going on there. It doesn't look like a very welcoming place at all.
No, it doesn't.
And there's a lot of things that have happened there. So that's somebody where we want to go. Now, another one is the Gore Orphanage, which is aka Swift's Hollow. And it's apparently the like spook seekers creme de la creme, Now, Chris, take it away, because I know you've had stuff there.
Oh, there is just... I've had e.v.p.s, scents of perfume, kids screaming, little kids screaming. You smell like a burning house, and there's no houses around there because there's a more legend to the Gore Orphanage or whatever they call it. But that bridge alone, a lot of spooky stuff has happened where we've heard screams, kids, perfume scents out of the middle of nowhere, burning house smell. It's crazy, and we've run away on these couple instances too, where we just spooked out and we just like we're done, we're gone,
Yeah.
bye.
Now, the Gore Orphanage Bridge is one that holds a lot of different tales to it. There's two popular versions of activities that happen at it. One, you park your car, turn off the engine, then you'll hear like painful cries of children.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'll hear some like fire, or like it'll sound like the crackling of like
You won't
fire.
hear much of fire. I think you smell it more.
Okay.
Some people, we've smelled it more.
Okay, so you guys smelled it but didn't hear
But
it.
the children screams, me and Erica have heard.
Okay. Then you'll feel the negative spiritual energy, and it'll actually prevent you from starting your car again. And it says you have to push your car, like you push your car forward before you'll be able to start it.
Well, no, that part we haven't counted, but those other two, yes, more than likely,
Okay.
in a sense.
Now this is the version 2, is you park your car, just the same, leave your keys in the ignition and exit the car. Once you get off the bridge, the car will start itself. Unexplained lights and ectoplasm may appear or materialize around you, if you're lucky, and the spirits are feeling particularly playful.
I don't know if
When you return, children's handprints will be found on the car.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's another thing that apparently people have done at the Gore Orphanage one.
Yes, we have had mysterious handprints on our vehicle before as well. Small handprints. When we come back, because we've gone up there 3, 4, 5 times before, but it's somewhere I would love to take you. Experience for yourself, because I know you want to.
Wisner Road is another crybaby bridge, but is also tied in with the Melonheads in Melonhead County. Now, the Melonheads are very much like Hills Have Eyes kind of people who have these deformed and disfigured heads. Now, this is one we need to go to, and it will be on our trip when we do our tour of the different, crybaby bridges.
Sounds very interesting and creepy.
But you drive beyond the bridge, and there's a dirt road. And on there, you'll find a dead end. And then there's a dirt path past the dead end. Now, the Melonheads are apparently they're considered inbred, deformed, diseased people who are malnourished, and they have
off the grid.
Yeah,
much.
exactly. The Hills Have Eyes kind of stuff going on. But late at night, you can hear them, moving through, and they collect different things. And you can also hear children who have been captured, or the spirits of children who have been murdered by them, different things like that. So there's a lot of different things that happen there which aren't really normal,
That sounds very spooky, dude.
And there's a lot of places we're going to go to, because you've been to some places recently that have been stuff that, you and I haven't experienced. You went out to Indiana, you went to see some of your old stomping ground, and you were talking about some of the stuff from your childhood.
Right. And there's this old metal bridge, and it's one of the few, Ohio has their crybaby bridges. This is one of their crybaby bridges that I thought they were going to tear down because they finally built a new bridge next to it. But no, they kept the old metal structure, but they put a wood, laying on so people can walk. But yeah, there were some creepy sounds way back then. There's another place where my cousin lives down there. We just stood there for a minute. This is a clear night, and you see this fog just rolling in on the water. Creepy stuff, man.
What are you doing this coming weekend?
What am I doing this coming weekend? I don't know yet. You tell me.
Well, let's do the Crybaby Bridge. We'll start up at Gore Orphanage, and then we'll bounce around to different ones, ending up around home, and then bouncing back to the house.
Well,
We'll drive through different places, do live streams, put it up on the By the Burial Ground and the B.A.P.S page.
What time you get home on Friday?
I get home, I think at like 4 o'clock or something like that. So
There's still creepy stuff in evening and nighttime, but
well, let's go at night so we can hit
right.
all these places. We'll start at the top. We'll get there whenever we know it's about to hit night, and then boom, 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 boom. We'll bounce around to these different places because I know you and I have a ton of different places we want to go to, and we're not done investigating because
far.
We have so much stuff we want to do, you know.
This time we won't get in trouble when I take you to this other place that I go to because we know we can't get in trouble.
So we'll start at Gore Orphanage.
Yes.
We'll go down to Wayne County where I'm from. We'll get into some stuff down there. If we can find another investigation to get into, if I can talk to my mom and see if we can get into that one place she was talking about.
Yes.
And then catch a couple of Crybaby Bridges on the way back. We'll do it all, man. We are down. We are ready to do all these investigations because there's a lot we want to get into.
Yeah, because we really haven't. I have covered the Gore Orphanage on our page, but half the time we go there, there's people already there interrupting or trying to run us over because they were fishing in the river. That's another story. That guy got really pissed at us. Because he thought we were flashing his lights, but we didn't know. We were spooked out. We don't know. Well, you can go fishing at midnight 30 on the creek. That's kind of creepy, man.
Well, people think that they own the river, you know? That's not the kind of way it goes.
Right. It's like, dude, relax. We're not trying to interrupt your fishing if that's what you're doing. But anyway.
All right. Well, that's just like so much of what people think is they think whatever they're doing, you know, outweighs or outlaws whatever we're doing paranormal wise, you know. We get looked at weird by people in public. We're just out there trying to figure stuff out. When we went out to the Quarry Park, there were some people when we first got there and they just looked at us weird, showing up with all this equipment and whatnot. We want to just figure out as much as possible. We're doing whatever we can, bring whatever we can out there to look into it all, you know?
Right, and we're still on a path. We didn't venture off too much.
No, we got out of there before it was the time to get out.
Not in trouble at all.
We got in trouble in other stuff, but that's the whole other story.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We already addressed it. You guys know.
It's over with. It's moving on time.
Exactly. We're not upset about it anymore. We're just trying to like move past it and continue on investigating because there's still a lot of stuff we want to do. I mean, we investigate our, you know, whole area around us. We're constantly looking at videos online and trying to see what other people are getting to.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's a ton of stuff that Chris and I want to do that we can't even do right now just because we don't have the funds to go out and do them. Plus, some places you just have to have the reputation to be able to investigate.
Right, I didn't have that special permission.
Exactly. But Chris and I have the investigation set up next. We're going to be doing our Crybaby Bridges. So tune in for that. That'll be coming up this weekend. This will be released this week. So the first week of August, you know. We're recording this on the 6th. It'll probably be up on the 7th or 8th.
Right.
So just check us out this weekend. We will be doing a lot of stuff. Probably getting into some live streams. Maybe I'll turn those live streams into podcasts. Let me know what you guys thought of that last one, though. That live stream was impromptu.
Yes,
I just threw it up.
but it's awesome.
But let us know what you thought. You know, give us 5-star reviews if you like what we're doing, and just if you don't like what we're doing, just stop listening. You know, you don't have to like us. You know,
It's like stop.
I don't even care, but I do care. You know,
You don't, but you do. Damn if you
I
do,
love
damn
you
you
all.
don't.
Chris, do you have anything you want to say to everybody?
No, have a good night. Be safe out there investigating. If you do investigate, watch out for those trolls on the internet. And if you do stumble on some demons and stuff, just be cautious, cleanse yourself, just be careful out there because it does happen.
And don't always assume it's demons. There's
No.
times where something may attach themselves.
Negative spirits
Or
even.
negative, but it may be like a fairy, or it may be just a human spirit. Demons have to do rituals to attach themselves to you.
Exactly.
So don't always assume demon anytime something negative attaches themselves to you, because it may not be the case. Do your research and try to find people in your area, in your neighborhood, or just people you can contact to help you fight or cleanse whatever you need to take care of. So we love you all. Have a good night. This is Tyler.
I'm Chris.
And just keep on listening, guys. Stay tuned in.